Hey peeps, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I'm having leftovers. That's why I ate half of this last night. The whole thing was like 380 calories or something like that. So I ate half of it because I wasn't, it's a long story. Anyway, I'm going to put some salsa on it. It's quinoa, brown rice, black beans, corn, red pepper. Yeah, pretty good stuff, I think. I've got my chips over there too because I want to eat it with chips. So I have a story today. It's story time. Hope you guys are eating something good. This is just my lunch, so I don't know if I'll come. There's a freaking fly in here. I don't know if I'll come back for dinner or not. I don't know what, if anything, I'm going to be eating. Long story. This story is crazy. But I honestly believe this guy. So let's back up. This is a homestead channel on YouTube, okay? Keep that in mind. That's his focus, is talking about the homestead, how to manage a homestead, you know, that kind of stuff. I haven't looked up his channel, but it's about homesteading. Meaning I haven't gone through every single one of his videos. He is married. I'm going to say they're in their late 50s. Yeah. Kind of a sad fact. He had to have a kidney removed, and then it sounds like he might have the big C. The big C, not the pandemic C. Anyway, I'm trying to give the backstory of this guy. Very believable. Has a channel that's related to something over in this genre, right? I don't know why this came up on my algorithm. It doesn't matter. But it said something about, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Something like that. Can anybody tell me what's going on? Something to that effect. And I was like, huh? I loved the Twilight Zone when I was growing up. I loved that show. I think I've watched every episode. So he starts talking about, there's a restaurant that him, his wife, his dad, his family has gone to for over 40 years. He always gets the haddock because they make it perfect every time. He loves the fish. They've gone there forever. That's their spot. That's where they go. That's, the thing. And there was always this waitress, Brenda. And she would always tell them, someday I'm going to own my own restaurant. Someday I'm going to own my own restaurant, and they were like, yeah, cool. And so the guy, I can't remember the name of the restaurant owner, but he was going to sell this restaurant. And she was on it. And she bought it. 17 years ago. And she was the bartender, and, they had this wait staff. Him and his wife went there all the time. His dad, unfortunately, passed away 24 years ago. But him and his wife, about once a month, would always go eat at this restaurant. They knew everybody because it's not a very big town in the first place. And it's not a very big restaurant either. I think he said it sat around 70 people. So, okay. So, and they'd go in, and Brenda's behind the bar, and hey, how are you guys doing? Type of a thing. This goes on for 17 years. They go in once a month. They have their food. It's always the same wait staff. It's like a close-knit, type of a deal. The cook is a guy. He does excellent with the fish. So, right? Okay. Big deal. 2 days ago, the guy and his wife were like, hey, let's go get some fish. And she's like, yeah, let's go. So they go down to the restaurant. And out front, they see a for sale sign. And he's like, oh, no. What's going on? He's like, oh, no, He had known these people for over 17 years. Well, just at that restaurant. He even knew where some of the waitresses lived. Again, small town. They would talk. Oh, yeah, I own the 100 acres up by blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking about renting this to my kid. Like, literally that type of conversation. Normal conversation for small town. So he's like, oh, no, why is there a sale sign? So the parking lot is, like, really, really full. And they're like, okay, and they found a parking spot. And they go into the restaurant. All the staff are black people. Nothing, this isn't a racist thing. He had never seen a black person in that town, let alone in the restaurant, let alone as a waitress or waiter or whatever. Everybody was black, everybody. And he didn't see Brenda. And he's like, what's going on? So they were able to see the couple kind of in the back of the restaurant. And he said it was fabulous service. He tipped the waiter. He said the service was amazing. Anyway, he orders the fish, the haddock. And he said it was the fastest he had ever gotten a meal in his life. It was like 5 minutes. And the fish was perfect. It tasted just like it always had. And the cook comes out, and it's a blonde woman. Okay, the other cook was a man. She goes, she didn't go to any other table. She came up to their table. And she says, how's everything tonight? And they were like, oh, it's fabulous. And they're just like, kind of like, oh, everything's good. She goes, that's great. She goes, it's so nice to have seen you guys again. And they both, like, his wife was almost like freaking out. They both like looked at each other. Neither one of them had ever seen that woman in their entire life. Not once. Not once had they ever seen her. So the waiter is going by and he says, excuse me, sir. And the waiter comes over and he said, what happened to Brenda? Where did Brenda go? And he goes, who? And the guy was like, Brenda, the woman who owns this restaurant. Where is everybody? Where is she and the staff? And he goes, Brenda? Nobody named Brenda owns this restaurant. My parents own this restaurant. They've owned it for the last 17 years. And now they're selling it. They left. And he filmed part of it in the parking lot. They drove to where one of the waitresses lived. But it was Father's Day. There was a ton of cars. He didn't want to, like, unannounced, you know, hey, blah, blah, blah. You know, rude. You guys. Apparently somebody in the comments was doing some sleuthing to see if this guy, you know, he telling the truth? They went on Yelp 4 years ago. He left a good review for Brenda's restaurant. So he's at home. You guys, I'm getting goosebumps. He's at home. He's filming this in his driveway, talking about it. You guys, he's like, you guys, I don't know what this is. I don't know what happened. He goes, I don't know if I'm going crazy. He goes, if I'm going crazy, then my wife's going crazy. How are we both going crazy? Right? He's like, the cook said it's nice to see you guys again. And again, he said, I've never seen that woman in my entire life. He had never seen any of the staff his entire life. None of them. And their parents are selling the restaurant after 17 years of owning it. What? You guys. Hold on. Oh my God. This is my third "you're going to get arrested" spam text today. Oh, it's so annoying. Anyway, he's like, I have no explanation for what's going on. So that night, he was like, oh, we've taken pictures in that restaurant. His wife likes to take selfies. And so he found 2 pictures. I don't know if he's gone through like the computer files or whatever, but he found 2 photos. One, and her phone's like this. It's not this way. I wish it was this way. One of his wife and one of him. And he said, there's a couple of things about this picture with my wife. The restaurant was packed. Remember I said that? He said we were like at this like 2x2, 4x4, whatever table up against this wall. Over here, there was a table of 4 people. They were like in their 70s, 80s. But behind her, there was a table of 6. He knows this because remember I said he had a kidney removed? He has to get up and go to the restroom a lot. And he had to squeeze in between her and the people at the table behind her. So he remembers there were 6 people at a table behind her. In the picture, there isn't a table and there's no people. The other weird thing about the picture, so she's got her arms not on the, her arms are not on the table. Her arms are not like this. They're like this. And he takes a picture. And he said the other thing about this picture is in front of my wife on the table was a napkin with a fork and knife. And it's not in this picture. And he said, we didn't push stuff aside to take the photo. We didn't do anything like that. We just took a photo. You guys, what? So, he kind of did an update today. Father's Day. Okay, I'm behind. So yeah, okay. He kind of did an update where he talked a little bit more about minute details, you know, but he kind of just repeated himself. And he was like, do you guys think, like, maybe because I had a kidney removed, or like I'm in the first stages of the big C word, or has something to do with this? And he's like, I would believe it did, but my wife saw it. My wife experienced the same thing. And he's like, what we're going to do, because see, me, I was yelling at him the first day. I was like, go back the next day, go back the next day, go back the next day, because she'll be there. She will be there. Dude went into the Matrix, man. I'm convinced he went into the Matrix. Uh-huh. Some type of time portal or something. And I'm like, no, go back the next day. So in this video, he's like, we're going to go back in a month. And everybody's, no, don't go back in a month. Go back now, you know? People were like, can you call the restaurant? Like, all sorts of stuff. You guys, I don't know what it was. All I'm going to say is me personally, and I know you guys don't really know me, but I'm very skeptical of stuff. It's like, I don't know. This guy seems so legit. Like, you can tell he's got fear in his eyes. He's legitimately scared, and he's legitimately confused. And he kept saying, you know, 40 years. He's like, in the last 17 years, we've gone there for the last 17 years. And they said they've owned it for the last 17 years. What do you guys think? People were like, nothing's been the same since the pandemic. Some people were like, nah, you know. But a lot of people are like, yeah, things aren't the same. Like, stuff's been going on, weird stuff, you know. Matrix was brought up several times, just people were giving their own accounts of things that had happened to them. I don't know. I don't think he should wait a month to go back, because what if they've already sold it by then? But they wouldn't have sold it because it wasn't theirs. Because they didn't exist. I don't know, like, Mexican restaurant. The whole time we have lived here, except for, I think, the last couple of times we've gone, the same family has owned it. It's the same family. It's the same quality of food. Everything's the same. Then all of a sudden it just went, you know, and it was like, oh, there's new owners. There's got to be. Which is sad because they owned it for like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, 30 years. I think he just wanted to retire. His sons opened up another restaurant in downtown, the small downtown that we have. They opened up, it's like you guys, I don't know what it is. Francisco style. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like steaks, but other stuff. I can't really categorize the restaurant. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember, I don't know what age range I was, but it was quite the range of age. I would have deja vu, like, constantly. Like, I mean, when I mean constantly, I mean like every day, every other day, every third day. It was a lot, is all I'm trying to say. Okay, not comparing myself to anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying I had a lot of deja vu. And I used to be like, whoa, man, I'm having deja vu. And I remember back then, there was no internet or anything like that. Nobody really knew what deja vu was. I still don't think we're clear, maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked it up recently. But the best explanation that I've heard that makes sense to me is your brain is misfiring just a little bit. Like the tiniest bit, it's misfiring. Those synapses aren't quite making it across as fast as they're supposed to for just a brief amount of time. And so you've done something and you're like remembering that you did it, you know, so you're just a little behind. That was my theory. I don't know, or I don't even know if that was my theory. I'm sorry. I don't know, but that's what I think. Maybe I read that. I probably did. But yeah, so that's what I think. I think it's your brain just for a couple of seconds, and that's all it takes and maybe even not a couple of seconds, but it's just like, I just reached for this jar of salsa. Like I literally just reached for it. I remember doing that. You know what I mean? But then there's been other deja vu where it's bigger than that. It's like, I remember that happening. And people are like, what are you talking about? That never happened. And you're like, yes, it did. Remember? And they're like, no. And you're like, yes, remember this and remember this and remember this about it. Don't you remember that? And as clear as day, you can envision it. You can maybe hear it depending on what it is. It's so vivid in your head, and it's common day stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe it was a car accident and everybody in the room that you're with was with you, and you're like, don't you remember when we saw that car accident on blah, blah, blah? And they're just like, what? And you heard the crash, the glass break, you know what kind of cars it was. You know exactly where you were. You knew which seat you were sitting in. You know what everybody said when it happened. You remember the other cars. You remember what the weather was like. You remember all of it. And it's like, no one else remembers. Has that ever happened to you? That's happened to me 3 or 4 times. And it kind of irritates me because my family chalks it up to me being crazy, which I am. But it's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I legitimately, no, this definitely happened. But how can they collectively all not remember? Obviously, I'm wrong. You can't have 5 people and one person is saying this and everyone else is saying that and say, well, this person's right. I'm sorry, but you can't. It's just the way the world works, you know? I mean, I guess there's situations in which, yeah, the 5 people, they're wrong and this person's right. But most of the time, the 5 people are going to be correct and the one person could. But yeah, that's happened to me. That's happened to me several times. And it's really frustrating because I'm just like there's been times when I remember conversations that we've all had. And I'm like, oh, remember when that one time we were talking, who knows why I'm bringing this up? Oh, do you remember that one time when we were talking about blah, blah, and you just get blank faces and they're like, no. And you're like, oh, remember when we were in the dining room? Remember it was right before Christmas and you said blah, blah, blah. And then she laughed. And then he was like, oh my God. Do you remember that? Okay, sorry guys. My iPad is totally full. I need to go through and mess with it. Anyway, I've had that happen. I don't know if it's happened to any of you guys, but it's like, it's one of those moments where like, you kind of feel like it's like you're on shaky ground, you know? It's like, nobody remembers that. I literally remember what we were eating and what you said and even how he reacted. I remember what she was wearing. I remember you got up to go get more water. Like, it's like, am I making this up in my head? And what a weird scenario to make up in your head. You know, what a weird, like, you could chalk it up to being a dream. You could chalk it up, but dreams aren't that crystal clear. Sometimes they are, but it's like, this is so like, it's so like this happened. Just let me know. Anyway, thank you for eating with me today. I hope you guys had fun with the story. Don't know. Guess we'll always be mystified. I will keep you updated though. If I haven't subscribed to him, but if I see him pop up and like he's gone back, you know, to the restaurant, will he even report it? Don't know. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.